Hi, welcome to Roughneck Movies. I'm Captain Jim, and with me again this week is my good buddy Sam. This week we're going to be discussing Wonder Woman 1984. Unpopular opinion: is it good? Is it bad? A lot of people have got mixed opinions on this. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it as a superhero film. Sam, your thoughts?
So, firstly, it's way too long. It's 2.5 hours. It felt like a month. I'm also going to say about Prologue, when she's running around as a little girl trying to do the Death Olympics that was quite good and exciting. But then that whole sequence was pointless. It had no relevance to the rest of the film.
I did think that was going to show up later on. She's going to take the shortcut and it's going to trip her up somewhere, and then she's going to realise that she's going to have to do it the hard way. Maybe that's the spoilers, by the way, if you've not seen the film. But yeah, if I figured that would maybe that's something to do with the choice she made with Steve Trevor later on in the film. She had to make that hard choice, perhaps, but it wasn't that apparent. It wasn't very obvious.
It's a cool looking place. I like Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright. I think they're great, but that whole sequence is pointless. But as you said, the message doesn't come back down. It never cheats for anything. I wasn't a big fan of the whole it's a magic rock that grants wishes.
The monkey paw.
Yeah.
Simpsons monkey paw.
I just thought it was a bit, we've just got a magic item. Which sounds really silly because, Infinity Stones I'm cool with. The way Steve comes back, so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, every other wish in the film magically happens. Like, at one point, a wall pops up in the middle of a country.
Sure.
With Steve, he has to come back in the form of another guy.
That's true.
He can't just magically appear. And all I'm thinking, but then she pops into that guy at the end of the film. And I'm thinking, does he remember? Was he there? What happened to him?
So,
was he conscious during all of this? Like, has he had sex with Wonder Woman? Did she rape him? What if he had a family with kids that were like, where's Daddy? I don't know. Why is Daddy on the news with Wonder Woman? I don't know, sweetie. Maybe this is the end of our marriage. And then he comes in like a week later. Wonder Woman has destroyed a marriage and raped a guy.
Well, a lot of people were just saying this. They're saying that, he didn't give consent to this. And I'm like, not only in real life is she one of the most beautiful women to ever have existed, in this world, she's meant to be, in fiction, the most beautiful woman in this, hypothetical
she doesn't have
world.
to ask for consent.
So, the point is, everyone. I'm Steve Trevor. I'm Steve Trevor. I'm Steve Trevor. Everyone would be claiming to be Steve Trevor. But also, the point is, there's so many people saying it gives such a bad message, and I'm like, online, I'm like, what bad message does it give? Like, in case you ever meet someone, they might be possessed by someone else. You might be having sex with the wrong body. These are the kind of people that have way too much spare time and no real problems, so they just need to walk into traffic.
Also, Steve Trevor was a pilot of the First World War? How does he know how to fly a plane in the 1980s?
A jet
He's
plane,
never heard of radar, yet can fly a plane. Anyway,
yes.
And then all of a sudden she can fly. Like, alright, I can buy the fact that she's using her lasso whip thing to pull her through and all this, but she's just literally flying at one point. So
yeah, was that she yanks herself and then uses the wind to sort of glide, or does she actually fly? Because
I think she is technically doing the whole gliding thing, but it just comes across as, so it felt like, especially with the opening mall scene, it was like very much a throwback, and I've seen other people talk about this, to the Richard Donner Superman.
Yeah.
So that light in tone, kind of cheesy, very fun superhero vibe. And it kind of felt like a huge throwback to those early Golden Era Superman films. And then the whole end wishing thing, where everybody's making wishes and the world is falling into apocalypse. It's so contrived because it's based on the idea that everybody is wishing out of greed. I don't think the end feels in spirit of the rest of the term. The whole term of the film was about optimism and this and that and the good in people. Cheetah, I was genuinely interested in the character and I think there's a lot of potential there. But again, they go down the silly route of it. So she wants to be more like Diana. Yeah. All of a sudden, she can walk in heels. But it just didn't really... It escalated to nothing. And then all of a sudden, she was a big CGI mess running around. It was dimly lit, so thankfully we couldn't see much, even if we could. And then... Like, Wonder Woman has this gold... Where did the gold suit come from?
No, she does a detour and goes and gets it. It's like a
What do you mean she went and got it? She was flying, and all of a sudden she appears in a golden suit with wings. But this suit is meant to be indestructible, right? Because the previous... Not Wonder Woman, but a previous chick wore it to defend her people. 2 minutes fighting against a bloody Catwoman, and her wings are broken. It was... it's getting all this build-up to not much potential. And last point. I know I'm full on ramble mode, but the whole 80s setting, kind of pointless. Other than the whole Cold War fear of nukes, which just pops up at the end. But there was no real like retro songs or uses of like synths or anything like that. Just a few jokes about bum bags and parachute pants. And
I think there was a couple 80s throwback songs, but I feel that they didn't. I feel they just jumped on the fad of the era. Of look, everything's popular. It's 80s is back in trend again. Let's do 80s. Everyone's into 80s pop culture. If you can bring anything 80s back, hey, we're gonna set Wonder Woman next film. It's gonna be 1984, and everyone's like, cool. So then they just went with it, put on some. I mean, people didn't dress quite like that in the 80s. Like, do you remember like the clothes he wears, the ridiculous like leather? Not every person was like that. There'd be like one in like 20 people that dressed.
Extreme 80s.
It was t-shirts and jeans and jumpers.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the trouble with representation of the 80s these days. It's never quite accurate. I must admit, I did enjoy it because it felt like a regular superhero film. It didn't have to be this epic sort of duel and climactic. It didn't have to be this big tearjerker. Like, I love Marvel films, don't get me wrong, but every Avengers film feels like, there's going to have to be bigger stakes this time, there's higher stakes this time, someone's going to die, there's going to be tears, it's going to change the way we think about this film, there's going to be a twist. And with this, it was just take my 10 quid, I'm going to sit and watch it in the cinema, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm done. And I'll be entertained. And I was, so I really enjoyed it. I liked that fact. Because I feel that if you have every film does that, then they fall short. So one thing I do find really funny, going back to the opening, which I really enjoyed that sequence with young Diana when she cheated.
Yes.
Robin Wright's character, who's Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yes. With
her voice, the way she talks, like, did she not remind you of the strange he-she from 50 First Dates? That was all I could think of when I watched it.
Yes. Are you calm? Yes, fish, let coming. Okay, now.
And I liked that they went different with, let's not hunt down this big baddie and kill him. Let's change his mind and let him see the error of his ways, which was the selling point to me with the ending of Spider-Man 2, when Dr. Octopus realizes and he sacrifices himself for his mistakes he's made, and it wasn't just a fight to the death. Or the superheroes never kill them, do they? They somehow work it out so they accidentally kill themselves, always, because the heroes never kill.
Unless you're Superman, in which case you snap someone's neck.
Yeah, yes. But like, I think that the whole Pedro Pascal, Maxwell Lord, that was his character's name. I thought this whole story of him getting more and more angry and the way he fell apart was a bit grotesque, with blood coming out of his ears and dripping all over him and his eyes going all bloodshot and he was like rotting.
Yeah.
But the fact that his kid wanted to save him and he thought he wanted this and he thought he wanted that, and at the end of it, actually, all he really wanted was just the love of his son, which he already had all along. And I thought, how's he going to get away with this? But I guess the world was so jumbled up at the end, he just went back to his son and they just disappeared into back into society. People just forget.
Yeah, you have 2 hours, 2.5 hours rather, of a film that's telling you this guy's bad, this guy's doing this. Oh, actually... No, he just wants love from his son. His son's right there. Right? Yeah. Just turn around and look down. He's there.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought that was all good. I liked the way I like the fact that they brought Steve Trevor back, because I was kind of like, you know, that whole sometimes you can make a sequel film and it will damage the original. Greatest example I hate is Jurassic Park 3, when it turns out that Alan Grant and Ellie never made it together. They just broke up for some reason. Absolute bullshit writing. But they brought back Steve Trevor, and I thought that if they brought him back, it might ruin the first one a little bit, because he's dead, and he died in such a cool way that it is moulded Diana into the woman she is, sort of thing.
She needs to get a grip. Okay? She knew Steve Trevor for what? A week? 70 years ago.
Yeah.
He was a fling.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's helped her save the world. But Jesus Christ, woman. Grow up. Move on. Get over it.
Yes.
You know, go off to... It's the 80s.
Sure.
All right? It's renowned for going out, nights out, clubbing.
Getting AIDS.
Glove up, kids. And I just think she needs to move on with her life. I don't want to sit through 2 Wonder Woman films, a Justice League, and a Batman vs Superman thing, where Wonder Woman, who's meant to be this glowingly inspirational hero, is just going, oh, God, I really missed that guy I met for a week 80 years ago. But I think if they'd have brought back Steve Trevor in the 3rd film, or the 4th Wonder Woman, where there's been some separation, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, they're bringing back Steve from the first film, then it would have a bit more of an emotional resonance. And look, I think the scene where they say goodbye...
She runs off, yeah.
And then she turns and she just walks off and everything like that. And then I thought that was actually really good. I thought that was the standout piece of score from Hans Zimmer. I thought that was really good. So next Wonder Woman, I really hope they make another one, despite my feelings about this one. But I don't want any mention of Steve Trevor. I don't want to... I love Chris Pine. I think he's great.
Yes.
I don't want to see him. No mention of him, all right? Nothing.
Not even a flashback?
No, nothing. Okay. I don't want anything.
I found it fun, I found it fresh, and I found it not too serious, which is what I kind of wanted from just an enjoyable film. Like your indie films, I'm not comparing it to an Indiana Jones film, but just a film you can watch on its own without having to see the before and the after so much. So I quite enjoyed it, and I must admit, I like Wonder Woman, and I'm guessing you don't, but Sam, you wanted to see it a lot. So, having seen it now, do you renounce your wish to watch it?
No, I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah, okay. Out of 10, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5.
Yeah, I thought it was a charming little watch.
I always struggle at ratings because I don't ever give anything a 10.
Well, anyway, thank you for watching. This is Roughneck Movies. You can follow me on Twitter at Captain Jimlar, and you can follow Sam on Twitter at
Samuel Cox Photography. Leave us a like. How about you subscribe? Comment below. Let us know what you think.
wait. I want you to do me a haiku about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is trash, although I'd still give her a smash.
That's not a fucking That's not a haiku. That's not...
That's what you get. That's all you get. That's all I got.
That's all I get. All right. I guess a little Wonder Woman poem. Fucking marvelous that was. So glad we're still recorded. Subscribe.